Okay, so the head, let's see, we broke it up into, I would say, almost like a third with a half. So we're gonna do 1, 2. I'm gonna make that a little smaller. 3 and a half. So it's 1, 2, 3. Now I made these lines very light, but I'm gonna darken them a little bit now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and then the half. Okay, so these are the proportions of the head. So we're going to do one. I'm going to do 1, 2, and then 3 here. Okay, and it probably would have to go out just a little wider. Okay, now, so the hair and the head on the head can go over these lines. So if we're going to do something where he's got an oval, this is the top of his hair. This actually would be like the hairline, right? So we got to get that center line in. That's important. Actually, might come over just a little bit more. Okay. Now, on the brow ridge, like we did in Cassidy's picture, that's going to start here. What we can do is when you put that that center line, and that's where you're going to be able to show how far out you have to go with your eyebrows. Okay, so we're going to do this guy relatively the same way. Now the nose, right? Like that's the eyebrow. It's not really the eye line. The eye line comes down about here. Okay, so this is where the eye is going to start. And then the bottom of the nose is right about here. Okay. And then about half the way through, actually maybe a third. So if we break this up into thirds, so we can do 1 third, 2 thirds, 3 thirds. So about a third the way down, that's where the mouth is going to will start. Okay? Maybe a little less. Okay? And then we're going to go back down. So let me start with the eyes. So the eyes and the nose, we kind of find the width of the nose. Now, the widths of the nose can vary from person to person, so you have to just look at the sitter. But as a general rule, now this is where the eye is going to be. So this is going to be my first eye here, my second eye here, obviously. The distance usually is about an eye, so I'm going to bring this over just a little bit more. Right there. So the measurement between eye to eye is an eye, usually. Okay, so from there to there, and then the brow. And that's all depending on the person, too. What we want to do is we want to try to get, so from the eye out, it's probably about that far. From the eye out here, it's probably about this far. We have a cheekbone. Okay, there's usually a taper down through here, comes down, tapers here, and right about there. Same thing here, down. Now this could be rounded depending. So if you're drawing a woman, that's usually rounded, and whereas a man is more rugged. You know, he will have the neckline in here. So let's get working on the nose. So we have the now I'm going to get these lines just a little thicker for you to see. Okay, we have the eye. And let's see. Yeah, so we have the eye there. We have the eyebrows in here. I'm going to just get these lines much darker for you to see right here. Now that skull would probably come just underneath, but he's going to have a little bit of hair. So here we go downward. His hairline's coming down. It's kind of represented this way. over here. I got another one here. His ears line up about where the top of the eye. The strange thing with Cassidy's picture is that her hair was covering her ear, so it looked wrong that it was all the way down, but that's what we see. So if whatever, we have to go by what we see in the portrait. If that's the way it is, it's covered by the hair. So there's nothing you can really do about that. I would probably bring the ear out just a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more volume there. All right, so that's the top of the ear runs right along the same angle or the same line as the eyebrow line. Okay, so that's another thing to consider. All right, and we're going to just stop those eyebrows there. They get a little out of control. Here, coming down and around the eye. Usually they follow, there's a thing here like the cranial ridge. Actually, that's where the two sides kind of meet. I should say two planes, the front plane and the side planes. Usually the eyebrows start to turn right around that ridge. They seem to move, in the direction of that plane. Okay, so that's something to consider too and remember. Yeah, as far as the eyes are concerned, yeah, I'm going to start massing in just the eye shapes on here and here. Now, since he's, basically static or straight on, full frontal, I'm going to work on the eye. Now, usually the tear duct comes around, and it's usually it's a little rounded under the eye. It's never straight across. That's for pumpkins, not for people. Okay, so here, okay. And now we're going to come down. Remember that keystone ridge right here, right? Very important. That's going to be like the beginning of the bridge of the nose. Now, some people can be wider, thinner. It all depends on the person here. There's never any set rule. But for these purposes, yeah, we're trying to make like a anatomically correct man here. His nostrils are going to come out here. We want to try to get them as symmetric as possible. And then right under here, we're going to have the nostril and nostril. Okay. And I will finish all this too. Sorry about that. Leaving this hanging. Again, just right above the eye. Again, it's in the line of the ear starts right around the line of the eyebrow. Okay, keep that in mind. Ears come out. We're going to have his ears pinned back a little bit more. And also another point of measurement is that the bottom of the ears line up with the nose. Okay, so that's always good to remember. So we got that little dimple in between, and now the mouth. So we have the upper lip that's coming down. This lip is coming down here. There's going to be that little V shape right in through here. Important. Okay. Also, now it doesn't. Usually, the end of the mouth, if the person is looking directly at you, lines up with the side of the eyeball. That's not always the case. Again, people's mouths can be wider, shorter, more pursed, more tight together. Now, this is just idealizing, but if we looked at the mouth from Michelangelo's David, you could see that he had all the forms in there and worked out. Okay, there's usually a little break in here, a cut that comes down. Now, even though this is a man, and I got a little too heavy-handed with that line. I'm going to just take a little bit off here, just to correct that a little bit, and go back around here and start working on the bottom lip. Bottom lip comes down. Okay, so he almost looks like a G.I. Joe, right? So here, just underneath, there would be jowls here. You don't have to show them. And that is basically the proportion. So you have, let's do this. We have one line coming across, one line coming across here, another line representing the hairline, and another line representing the top of the skull. Now, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and a half. Okay? So, the eyebrows are on in the third area. Okay, so with the first area, okay, the first third goes right to, actually I gotta go up a little bit more on that one, right to the nose, okay, the bottom of the nose, okay, it's important, not the top of the nose, not the middle of the nose, it's the bottom, okay, it's where the nostrils meet the cheeks, okay, and the eyebrow is on the second line. Okay, so that would be the second line. This is going to be the first line. Okay, remember that right here. First line, second line, and third line. And then the half line is the hairline. Okay. And there you go. So all we have to do is start working on, getting him a little bit more modeled. Okay. So there we go. And now, as far as the neck is concerned, usually the neck shape is about half the size of the face. But then again, that can change. It can change based on the person. Some women have very long necks. Some women have short necks, or they appear to be short because they may have a little meat or fat. But that's okay, because fat's where it's at. I should know. All right, hairline, 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 and as far as you doing whatever you want to do with the eyes, the nose, we have a perfect model man here, right? Very handsome. And there he is, okay? Just remember, I'll take a picture of this and show it to you.